Hello world, friends and family. I'm setting up a GoFundMe page. I'm setting up a GoFundMe page to raise $5,000. In the first part, I'll tell you my story, and then second part, I'll tell you why I'm doing this and what I'm doing in general. First, my story. I was raised in SOS Children's Village here in Addis Ababa, actually. And it was a very beautiful home, and I was very lucky enough to grow up in a beautiful village with an amazing family. Later on, I got the opportunity to go to a very prestigious high school in Tema, Ghana, which gave me the opportunity to be educated with some of Africa's top minds and very great teachers. Later on, I got the opportunity to go to Concordia College, liberal arts school in Minnesota. After that, I was really passionate about what Invisible Children was doing. So in 2011, after graduation, I moved to work with Invisible Children. It's a non-profit that works on advocacy and humanitarian issues that have to do with stopping the atrocities of the Lord's Resistance Army in Central Africa. At that point, I realized the power of advocacy, but most importantly, education, to change societies so that we can stop conflicts, we can create harmonious, positive societies that can create beautiful things. But I think the life-changing time for me, something that I really feel strongly about, happened in 2013. At the International Leadership Academy of Ethiopia. At that school, which was created on the idea of creating a locally robust but globally connected curriculum, I fell in love with the idea of education, teaching and curriculum, especially for Ethiopian students and African students that are from less privileged families. When you give these students the opportunity to lead, to grow in their problem-solving abilities, in their thinking abilities, their overall character, then it is impactful. It is so heartfelt, and it is like every day I was teaching, I felt something just delightful and something amazing and transforming, right? So I found that education was my passion. So to move on to the next part, right now, having taught for 3 years, I'm now applying for my master's program in the United States. So here are the things I want to do in order to continue with my master's program. I'm applying currently to master's programs, and in about 6 months, I expect to attend one of the programs I'm applying. So I'm applying to programs like UC Berkeley, Columbia, University of Washington, University of Oregon, etc. There are 3 things I want to work on in order to combine my passion and what I want to do with my master's, as well as the things I'm passionate about, right? So I want to work on these 3 things. First, I will need the money I'm raising, the $5,000, for application costs, admission costs, visa costs, cost of flight, and everything that has to do with actually going to the school. The second part is that I'm working on research papers that will help me identify and define what the topics that I want to study once I am in graduate school, and then even after that. So these topics are the connection between high quality curriculum that is very efficacious with the idea of entrepreneurship and social enterprise. So I want to have some time to do the research, right? So cost of application and admission, research, and then the last part is that there are initiatives that I'm setting up myself in order to help me connect the things that I'm passionate about together. So these projects are an entrepreneurship initiative and a social enterprise initiative, right? So it would be like the entrepreneurship program I've set up is to advise furniture makers, digital media folks, artists, and about 4 or 5 people that I've identified, just helping them strategize with creating a value proposition for their program, identifying customer relations and revenue streams to be a very formidable entrepreneur, creating a culture of entrepreneurship. And then I'm also setting up a different social enterprise initiative that will work with Shoeshine boys in Addis Ababa. You know, maybe just 2 or 3 that I'm only beginning to do with 2-3 Shoeshine boys, and how, you know, that project will just focus on first giving them a workshop on savings and loans, but also a workshop on basic computing skills. After that, my initiative, this social enterprise initiative, will hope to connect these Shoeshine boys with, you know, if their need is going to school, with schools. If they need is to set up a bigger business than their Shoeshine operation, then that operation, right? So those would be the things I want to work on. But just to connect to you, once I've raised my $5,000, I would hope to apply to graduate schools. At the same time, make the connection between research on entrepreneurship and curriculum, as well as entrepreneurship and social enterprise projects that I want to all put in a big pot, and that is a cause and an initiative and an institution or a future that I want to create in Africa. Right? Alright, so putting it all together, my GoFundMe page, Dawit Goes to Graduate School, will end on January 1, 2017. And I'm really excited to see, you know, and wait to hear from you guys and see the community support that I hope to get from you guys. But to put it all together, in the next 6 months, I'll be applying to different graduate school programs and waiting to hear from them. In the meantime, I'll be working on the projects that I told you earlier about. So while applying to graduate school, I will be working on a couple of research papers that have to do with this very subject of quality curriculum and teaching, and also be working on a separate initiative of entrepreneurship, which works with select entrepreneurs in Addis, but I will also be working on a social enterprise project. My hope is to combine classroom teaching and curriculum with a program or with a study that will allow me to give people the skills of entrepreneurship, innovation, and creating, right? So you have academics and you have practical innovation, right? So that's what I hope to do in the next 6 months. Thank you very much, and I love you, and thank you for all your support. Bye.